yesterday we cast the footprint, but now we're going to process it. Since we're only doing a human footprint and I'm not too concerned about contamination of DNA, I'm not wearing gloves. But typically you would wear gloves. So basically you retrieve your footprint and it's going to have sand on the bottom of it. So you'll want to basically wash this off. Now when you wash it off, you want to be looking for any hairs. Okay, you're going to want to wash it off above a screen. So I'm taking the screen and putting it over my little dish here. And the reason why you're doing this is because you want to make sure you are catching any hair or any evidence. And then you can go ahead and carefully wash off the footprint. Okay, you can already see the details in the footprint now. So now we wanted to clean it further down to the latex. So we're going to take a soft toothbrush, and if I was looking for hair and DNA and stuff like that, this would be actually a solution of bleach to get rid of any contamination. And then I would rinse it out in water so that it won't be have any human contamination. And then take the brush and very carefully brush over the footprint to take off the loose sand. Okay, once that's done, you can go ahead and rinse it off again. Now you want to make sure that there's no hair in here on the screen, which of course there won't be for us today. So now we've got it down to footprint that looks very good. And it looks like it's too rough to have any dermal ridges. The sand was too coarse. But in mud, in a fine mud or something like that, you might be able to pick up the dermal ridges. Now remember, we sprayed it down with white paint, and that was to stiffen up the sand so that it would be able to hold the plasters. We poured it in. Well, we need to get rid of that white paint to be able to see if there is any dermal ridges. And so what we want to do is use either paint thinner or acetone, and we're going to use that to basically dissolve the white paint on the foot. So we're going to pour a little bit on it. And then again we're going to take very carefully with the brush and start brushing it. Now the fix-all will be hard enough that the acetone won't hurt the fix-all. It won't bother it at all. But by doing this, you'll be able to get rid of the white paint and be able to pull up the dermal ridges if there's any dermal ridges. Okay, I've got the footprint all pretty much cleaned up, and we did good and we did bad. The sand was a little bit coarse to pick up dermal ridges, but we did pick up a nice footprint, and on the heel we see a couple of cracks that happen when people walk a lot on their feet around the edges of the heels. You'll find cracks. I'm not so sure that they show here in this video. We've inspected pretty closely on the toes, and we don't seem to have any dermal ridges, but it gives you a real nice, crisp, clean looking footprint. Now, if this was actually, if he had stepped in mud, real fine mud, then our chances of actually getting dermal ridges would be much, much better. But this is kind of like standing in fine grit sand, like what's on sandpaper. So, you know, it's not going to show as much dermal ridge detail as you'd like to get. So that's basically how you process a footprint on Bigfoot. And don't forget the hair and stuff that you find. Keep that in a bag. Don't handle it with your hands. Handle it with sterilized tweezers and put it inside an unopened Ziploc bag. So when you go to open it for the first time, that's when you put the hair in. That way the inside of the bag is still sterile. And then if you want to fork out the bucks to get it DNA tested, then you have a real good chance of getting a good test that has no contamination.